What's going on, everybody, and welcome to day 21 of our Juniper Networking series. In today's video, we will be doing a troubleshooting video. So let's go ahead and hop straight into it. So we have our top switch and our bottom switch right here. On our top switch, we have one side of our Ethernet cable plugged inside of the GE000 interface. And on the bottom switch, we have the other side plugged into the GE001 interface. Right now, we do not have link lights. So that is what we're going to be troubleshooting. First, we're going to make sure this is a known good cable. And next, we're going to look at some of the interface statistics on both of these interfaces to see exactly where the problem lays. So without further ado, let's hop into our first troubleshooting video. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is test the integrity of this Ethernet cable to make sure that our problem does not lay within our cable itself. So we're going to test to see if there's any shorts, if the pins are mismatched in any way by using this cable tester right here. So as you guys can see, we have 8 pins that is going to test within our Ethernet cable. So let's go ahead and plug that in to both sides of my cable tester. Let's go ahead and cut it on. And you guys can see going straight down, we're getting all 8 pins correlating with each other. So this is a known good cable. We can slow it down as well. This is a known good cable, so our problem does not lie within the cable itself. And we just proved that by doing this cable tester. So now let's hop onto the CLI and see where our actual problem lies. All right, so we're plugged into the top switch right now. Let's run a couple of commands. Let's do a show interfaces first, just to see the basic output. We want to get the basics. So right now, if we look at the GE000 interface on our top switch, we can see that we are administratively up, but our link is down. So we haven't disabled it from an administrative standpoint. From a layer 1 perspective, though, it is down. We can see that it is in the INET protocol, and we have an IP address on it. So we don't get too much information from that show command. So let's get a little bit more in the weeds with our interface output. Let's do a show interfaces GE000, and let's put a detail at the end. Let's get a lot more output. So the first thing that I look at when I don't get link lights is, first off, the speed and also the duplex. And I want to make sure that we are administratively up, which we are. Okay? So those are really the 3 things that I like to look at first. So usually we know that our switches auto-negotiate the speed, but for right now we can see that this interface's speed has been configured for 1 gig or 1000 megabits, and the duplex is full duplex. So I want to look at the other side of this connection as well, which is on the bottom switch, and see if these match up, because our speed and also our duplex have to be the same in order for us to get link lights. So let's see if the speed and duplex match up on the other end. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug into the bottom switch now and see what's going on. Alright, so on our bottom switch now, let's do a show interfaces first, just to get the basics, like we did on the top switch. And we can see that the GE001, that's the one that we're configuring on this switch, it is also administratively up, but the link is down. It has a INET address, but just no IP on it that's configured yet. Let's get into the weeds. Let's do a show interfaces GE001 detail, like we did on the other end. And over here, if we take a look, we can see that our speed is 10 megabits per second. So we have a speed mismatch, and that is why our link is down. We can see that we're operating in full duplex, but our speed is where the issue lies. So we're going to go into this device now and change the speed. Normally, though, our speed is going to be auto-negotiated automatically, and we're going to look at that option as well within our CLI. But maybe as the network administrator for this particular interface, the GE001 on the bottom switch, maybe it was connected to a legacy device that does not support these higher speeds, and as a network administrator we had to go in and manually configure the speed for 10 megabits, and now that we have connected it to another device, we do not have link lights, so we have to troubleshoot. Well, you would have to go into the weeds a little bit if you're just dealing with a CLI and troubleshoot these issues. So let's go ahead and make this change. So let's do an edit on the bottom switch. Let's do a set interfaces GE001, and we want to do a ether options. And if we do a context sensitive help, We can adjust the speed right here. And we can also take a look at the link mode, which is the duplex. So let's first change the speed, and then we're going to look at the duplex next. So if I do a context sensitive help right here, we can auto negotiate, which is the default and what you're going to normally have on unless you have a situation where you have to manually configure the speed for some reason. And there are use cases for that. I just explained that. But we want to do 1G or 1000 meg on this interface. And let's do a set interfaces GE001 ether options. And let's look at the link mode. And let's do a context sensitive help. And we can see that we have the automatic option, which is going to automatically negotiate our duplex. We have the full duplex and we have the half duplex. In today's networks, we're really not using half duplex. I think even with this command, if I tried to run the half duplex, it would not even accept my commit because our devices just don't operate in half duplex anymore. So I'm going to leave this alone, but I just want to show you guys the options that we have. I don't think the half duplex option works though. But let's go ahead and commit and quit our 1 gig speed. And let's continue to take a close look at our interfaces as this commit goes through. So let me move the camera a little bit closer. Well, I can't really do that. Let me record from my phone. Get it live if I can. Let's get a live view of once this commits. Yep. So that commit was successful. And now we can see that those link lights came right on. So now let's run some commands. Before, our GE000 interface was not up on this particular switch. So let's do a show interfaces terse now. And now we can see that the GE001 interface, the link has now came up. And now if I do a show interfaces GE001 detail, we can see that now our physical link is up. We have a speed of 1000 meg or 1 gig. And our duplex is operating at full duplex. And now we can see some traffic statistics. So we can see that we're getting input bytes from our other switch. And we can see a lot more statistics within the detail. It gives us a lot of output. But I did want to push out a troubleshooting video within this series. I have a lot more ideas that I'm have in my mind, so make sure that you guys stay tuned to the series. I appreciate you guys tuning into day 21 of our Juniper Networking series. I hope to see you in day 22, but until then, peace out.